Before we dive into this seasonal review, I just wanted to give a huge congratulations and say an even bigger thank you to the cast and crew of Operation Eclipse. It truly has been a dream of mine to create projects like this and to be able to finally get something like that out there and see it succeed, and it just truly puts a smile on my face. And I highly encourage all of you watching this to go check it out. It's got some action, some comedy, and even a twist or two for those of you that like that stuff. The link will be in the description below. Now, without further ado, here is my Season of the Wish review.
Alright, let's do this one last time.
Season of the Wishing We Had More Content. The very last season we're ever gonna get in Destiny 2, and it was meh. Why do I say meh? Well, it's because the very same reason every damn season has been meh for a long time now. The seasonal format. Bungie has been stuck doing the exact same seasonal model for over 6 years. 6 years, Bungie, come on! I expected a little variety at some point, especially after Mr. Blackburn himself said on Twitter that we'd be getting a shakeup later down the line, mainly in the latter half of Season 21, and most of Season 22. Now, yes, with Season of the Deep, we got a mini-seasonal challenge system to give some variety, and with Season of the Witch, we did get the Deck of Whispers, which was a nice change, and yes, I did praise that in my review of the season, which I recommend you give a watch, but that's not enough. Sure, I am a little more understanding of Deep because we were told that from the get-go the season was already halfway through the development point, but with Witch and Wish, there really isn't much of an excuse because we had plenty of time to digest our feedback from Defiance and Deep and adjust Witch and a Wish accordingly. With Wish, we didn't get an equivalent to the Deck of Whispers. We got our usual vendor focusing and mini-seasonal challenges, but that's it. But, to give some positive feedback, because I'm not Mr. Cynical all the damn time, the Coil is a brilliant seasonal activity. I genuinely like it. Shocker, I know. Basically, it's an endless activity where you fight through different sections in the Dreaming City with a variety of enemies, and all the while you can collect red and white shards to upgrade your weapons, health, abilities, etc. It's actually quite fun, and I recommend you lot give it a go. Now, as far as the other seasonal activity, called Riven's Lair, it's similar to the Coil, but much shorter and less rewarding, which kinda sucks because all those resources were put into it, and yet most people would rather do the Coil. Oh, and Blindwell got an update to the 4 of you who still play that activity, new reissued weapons, and now tougher enemies, so if you ever feel like running that again with a tiny bit more of a challenge, then by all means go for it. Regarding the seasonal story, the premise is that we go to make the 15th wish. Yes, that one that Reddit would never shut up about. Riven says no, and we end up having to track down her uncorrupted eggs, and we safely collect them all so she will grant the wish. All the while, Osiris is trying to recreate what the Witness did to the Veil and gain access to the portal. Some fetch quests and a love story later, we send Crow through the portal with the 15th wish.
This one you shall cherish, O guardian mine.
You're sure about this?
I am. It has to be me. We'll find each other again.
Always.
I kept my promise, as you did yours. Isn't that a pleasant surprise?
For that, at least, you have my thanks.
And you have mine for always providing such a unique challenge. To impose your desires upon reality so artfully. You could teach my children a great deal. Until we meet again, Mara.
Is he? He is on his way.
Well, I know what I'm using as the thumbnail. That's for sure. Wait, we send Crow through the portal? Why? No, seriously, why? Bungie reasons that he and Mara share a connection so we can always feel him, but he's literally a regular light bearer compared to, well, us. Because we are basically God at this point in the timeline. Here's what confuses me about this whole idea. We send Crow through, and we just hope that he doesn't get his ass whooped by the Witness while it's doing whatever the hell it's doing to the Traveler's heart. All the while, we wait for Osiris to open the portal properly so the rest of us can follow. So why weren't we the ones to go through and just take out the Witness immediately? Marketing-wise, they can't do that because the expansion isn't ready, but the story-wise, it's such a bizarre choice. What is Crow going to do besides be our location vendor when we arrive? He's just sitting around and twirling his thumbs while Cade gets ready to teach us our new supers. It's literally going to be like Beyond Light with these two, and they're probably going to meet off-screen. I hope that doesn't happen because Bungie is known for being lazy, so hey, anything is possible this late into the game. The story format hasn't changed one bit. We still got drip-fed content every week that just sent us to listen to someone ramble, go do an activity, maybe do a blind well or an ascendant challenge, go do a mission, listen to Blood waffle for a bit more, and then wait until next week to do it all again. It's so boring. And with episodes coming out in the final shape, and from what we can tell, they're being split into 3 acts per episode, it'll be the same there. Here's a few weeks worth of stuff you'll burn through quickly, and now you gotta wait several weeks to do it all again. You just never learn, do you, Bungie? You're gonna lose so many players after the final shape. Okay, let's talk a little more positively for a change. Warlord's Ruin. A brand new dungeon that came with Season of the Wish, and it's actually pretty good. Like, seriously, I genuinely like it. It has this massive D&D feel to it, which has been confirmed by Bungie as part of their inspiration for the dungeon, with enemies like the Tarnished, mimic chests hidden throughout, and puzzles along with the Chimera final boss. Not to mention, there are 3 bosses in this dungeon. That's right, folks, a whopping 3 bosses instead of 2. Bungie spoiled us with this dungeon. The first proper encounter is a boss fight, and each one is brilliant. Challenging, but brilliant. There are many secrets hidden throughout the castle upon the grounds which you tread, and I recommend you go off the beaten path to find them. Lore-wise, it's also good. Basically, some Taken and Scorn that were risen by the Witness are using corrupted Aramkara bones to grant themselves wishes. Fikrul, aka the Fanatic, sent a few of his own Scorn to help bring the Witness's Scorn home safely, but they too got corrupted by this long-dead Aramkara. This is the first time Scorn have appeared on Earth, so that's why we were sent in. This castle used to belong to a warlord named Name. I know, it's not confusing at all. Then fell into the hands of the House of Kings. Now it belongs to the remnants of Heffend, and his mini army of Scorn and Taken. Regarding the new exotic mission that came out, it was alright. Nothing special. It takes place in the Black Garden where yet another dead Aramkara lays dormant. God, there are so many of these things all over the place. We fight Vex and defeat an underwhelming final boss and discover the bones of an Aramkara which turns out to have been Riven's mate. Yeah, Riven had sex. Imagine that. Overall, I prefer the dungeon to the exotic mission because it just beats it in all the areas that matter. Quality, story, environment, encounters, and boss fights. This season, the very last season we'll ever get in Destiny 2, was underwhelming, to say the least. We always say to end things on a high note, but this didn't do that. Season of the Wish stumbled at the finish line, and honestly, good riddance to the seasonal format. One of the worst things to ever come to this game. So, tell me what you thought of the season down in the comments below. Was it as good or as bad as you thought it was going to be? Do you agree or disagree with what I've said today? And with that, I've been Fawn Umbrella 612, and I hope you have an amazing day. Stay frosty.